So, welcome back to a new lecture. Now, we're going to talk about the habit of working out as an example of a habit that a lot of people want to implement. It's a habit that can be very effective in your life. And I gave that example in a previous lecture where studies have found that every person at a certain age, between the age of late 20s and beginning 30s, the person's IQ levels would start to drop. And the one thing that researchers were able to find that can help you regulate the decrease of the IQ levels as you're growing older is working out, is moving your body, is taking care of your physique. And we're going to talk about that in this lecture. We're going to talk about some methods that you can use to implement the habit of working out and some hurdles or obstacles that people who are trying to implement this habit usually go through and how to solve them and pick up this amazing habit. Now, I want you to know what is the number one reason that people fail. Simply put, it's that they don't have a good source of motivation to get them up and going every day. And, I talk to a lot of people and they tell me that they're not satisfied with the way they look and all that, and they want to start working on their body. They want to implement the habit of becoming healthier. And the first question I ask them is, well, what's the main reason, right? And oftentimes, whether it's a guy or a girl, they say, well, I want to go out and be more comfortable in public. And I keep going down to the real source of motivation. And the real source of motivation is for them to attract people from the same sex or the opposite sex, depending on their sexual orientation. But this is why most people do it. Because when they want to meet a potential partner, they want to look good. And the thing is, this can be a good source of motivation. Not a great source of motivation, a good source of motivation. I'll tell you why. The reason being is because you want to pick up this habit and make it part of your lifestyle. And because its health benefits are just insane. And when you get to the point where you look a certain way and you get in shape, well, then if one day you don't really feel like going to the gym, or one entire week you don't feel like going to the gym or going for a run or working on your fitness and your physique, you just won't do it because you're satisfied. You look the way you want to look and you're comfortable and confident with it. So you lose the source of motivation. And that's usually what happens with most people. And then they stop going and then they lose the progress and then they go back again. And then they lose the progress and then they go back again. But the thing is, if they maintained it as a lifestyle, then they wouldn't have to go through these ups and downs. And let me tell you, these ups and downs can be really dangerous to your health, especially those who take it seriously. I have a lot of my clients who like to go through, different training programs. They want to go on bulking, which is gaining a lot of weight, and then cutting, then bulking, and then cutting. But the thing is, when they're bulking and they're eating 5, 6 meals a day, and then they're cutting and they're eating 2 meals a day and low calorie deficits and all that, it's not good. The main reason you need to want to work out should be intrinsic. See, most people focus on extrinsic motivation. And for those of you who don't know the difference, intrinsic motivation is finding something within that motivates you. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is when you are seeking something external. Now, there's a big difference between those. There's a book, a psychology book called Why We Do What We Do. Why We Do What We Do. And the author talks about those two primary sources of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. Basically, the entire book emphasizes how important it is to have intrinsic goals instead of extrinsic goals. And of course, the motivation related to it, the category that it falls under. But I am not here to tell you what should motivate you. At the end of the day, you will pick your own source of motivation. I'm just telling you from experience, from what I've seen that worked with people and what I've seen that put people in tough spots. So the first thing you need to do to achieve this goal is to identify your motivation, whatever it is. The human brain is accustomed to prioritize our needs. When you don't have a source of motivation, or when the source of motivation that you have is not compelling enough, you'll find it easier to quit your fitness goals. And this is particularly true when it comes to New Year resolutions. Now, I'm pretty sure that you can think about some people, maybe yourself, when you set up a New Year resolution and there's a norm that I don't understand. Whenever people want to set a New Year resolution, fitness should be included. That's why in January, all the gyms are filled with people. Everybody's being healthy. But then January 14th, and this is an exact date that a lot of research was done on it. On January 14th, more than 90% of the people would have quit their New Year resolutions. And that says something. They are not intrinsically motivated and inclined enough to do them. It's as simple as that. During the 14 days, and even less, they had enough willpower and enough discipline to keep going. And once they ran out, their sense of motivation wasn't there to pick them back up. And I don't want that to happen to you, to any of you. I want you to identify a source of motivation that brings you those positive emotions in a way where you feel fired up. Don't do it because you want to impress other people. Do it because you want to impress yourself. Because you want to prove to yourself that you can lead a healthier life. That you can have a better physique, to feel better about yourself and love yourself more. Now, this is an intrinsic source of motivation. And when you fixate your conscious attention on that, it's a game changer. So I'm going to give you some key points on what you can do to make sure this is a habit or behavior you can start and keep up with until it becomes a lifestyle. And again, I'm not going to go through the source of motivation a lot again. I hope you get it by now. Pick something intrinsic, something personal, something that moves you. Don't pick a shallow source of motivation that's going to fly out the window as soon as you run out of willpower. Pick something that would compel you and something that would help you pick yourself up every time you fall. Now, reinforcing the habit is essential, right? We need to talk about SMART goals, accountability system, a schedule, and setting an outcome. First off, SMART goals. I'm going to go through it briefly. If you are in my advanced course, you're going to go through it in more details in a later section. But SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. First, your goal needs to be specific. Well, what do you want? What do you want to reach physically? Maybe the weight, you want to reach 86 kilograms or 180 pounds. Be specific. And when you're specific, then the goal is measurable. If you are aiming to get to 180 pounds and now you're at 170, well, you can measure your progress. And A stands for attainable. You can't say, I want to go from 170 pounds to 180 pounds in 2 days. It's not attainable. Nobody can do it. You can't do it in 2 days. Otherwise, you'll put yourself in a very bad position when it comes to your health. So make sure the goal is attainable. And R also stands for realistic. Your goal needs to be realistic. So attainable and realistic kind of go hand in hand. Lastly, T stands for timely or time-bound. You need to set a deadline. By when do you want to reach your goal of 180 pounds? Or by when do you want to lose 15 pounds? Set a deadline. So you have a specific goal and you can measure the progress, and at the same time, it's attainable, realistic, and you know by when you want to achieve it. Now, usually the SMART goal system is a very widely used system. The one I usually and typically use is called the SMARTER goal setting system. And I add the E and the R. E stands for evaluation and R stands for reward. Now, what do I mean by that? First, evaluation is I usually evaluate the goal every single week. So every Sunday, for example, you measure your weight and you track the progress. Because people set SMART goals and they just put the goals there and they don't evaluate them and they don't look at them until they, drop them or get to the deadline, and that's not good. You need to evaluate yourself. If you evaluate yourself after a month and you find that you only gained half a pound and you need to gain another 9 in 2 months, you need to do a reevaluation of your diet, of how you're working out, because something is not working. it's better to do that. It's better to evaluate yourself every week than to get to the end of the deadline and not reach your goals. And the R stands for reward. Reward yourself. When you follow up with the habit, when you reach your goals, pick a reward that is compelling. Maybe you've been wanting to buy something for so long, a new pair of shoes, a computer, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be something you want to buy, maybe something you want to feel, something you want to experience, you want to travel. Make it a reward. When your brain is fixated to a goal that is also linked to a reward that is highly compelling, it will push you and motivate you even more. The second thing is, pick an accountability system. Whether it's a schedule, a micro goal, or a gym partner, keep a system in place to reinforce your accountability. You need to set an outcome, and what I mean by that is you need to visualize. You need to have a vivid and clear image of what you want to be. Because if you don't know how you want to look, you're going to have a hard time turning it into a reality. But when you pick a photo, for example, of the ideal body you would want to have and put it somewhere you'd notice often. Maybe, I have one of my clients who had a gym bag and he literally glued the photo of his ideal body at the bottom of his gym bag. So every time before he goes to the gym, when he wants to pack his stuff, he would open the bag and he would look at the picture and it would motivate him even more. And now he knows what he's aiming for. So set an outcome. And lastly, pick a schedule that works. And not just works, but works for you. Because I might try the P90X or the HIIT workout or try powerlifting, and it might not suit me or nor suit my goals. And if you get a gym partner and they want to squeeze you in their own schedule, in their own routine, and you just hate it, pick your own. You want to hit that sweet spot, the one that you prefer, that works for you. And you want to leave the gym feeling energized and motivated, not drained and dizzy. And this is the last thing I want to say to you, and that's really important. When people set goals specifically and most of the times New Year resolutions, and they start going to the gym, I look at them and they're just angry. They're lifting weights as if they're gonna die tomorrow. And they leave the gym feeling absolutely drained and unmotivated and they just want to go sleep. Right? They're so tired. And if you are competing, if you are doing this as a career, or if you're going to the gym at night, I understand. This can be good, right? But if you're going to the gym in the morning and you do a 2-hour workout where you push your bodies, beyond what you're used to, it's a process that needs to be escalated at the end of the day. You're going to the gym to get out feeling energized, feeling motivated, feeling happy, feeling ready, not feeling drained and dizzy, because this will be counterproductive. This is one of the things why people eventually quit habits, because they don't feel good about going to the gym anymore. They finish their gym session or their cardio session and they feel horrible. Obviously, they're going to stop because it doesn't feel good. So find the right program that suits you and find the sweet spot. Make sure that you leave the gym feeling happy, energized, and ready and excited for the next day. I know that was a lot of information. Please, I want to say that again. Make sure that when you are going through this course, take notes. Take notes and summarize information, because when you want to go through it afterwards, you don't have to go through the entire course to pick up a piece of information that you wanted to remember. Have your notes ready so you can implement a massive action plan as soon as you're done with this course. I hope you guys got to learn a lot in this lecture, and there's even a lot more to learn in the next one. So I'll see you all there.